Hey guys, welcome to another adventure of Shelby and Wallace. Shelby, where are we?
We are in Williamsburg, Virginia. We're going to do the historic triangle here, and our first stop is the Jamestown Settlement.
We're going to see things like the Powhatan Indian Village, the 1607 ships, and James Fort.
Yep.
So you guys come along with us as we check this place out.
Let's do it.
The Jamestown Settlement is a living history museum that has so much to explore both inside and outside. Inside they have a self-guided museum with artifacts from the actual Jamestown Settlement site, which is located 1.5 miles from the museum. After exploring the museum inside, we continued our journey outside. Guests also get to see the commemoration tower, which was erected in 1957 on the 350th anniversary of the colonists' arrival.
Our first stop outside is in Paspaheghtown. According to the Jamestown Settlement website, the Paspahegh were one of the 30-plus Algonquin-speaking tribal groups that belonged to the Powhatan Paramount Chiefdom.
Throughout Paspaheghtown, they have many examples of what life was like for the Powhatan tribe, including examples of gardening like the Three Sisters shown here. The Three Sisters are corn, beans, and squash planted together in the same place. This recreated town also allows visitors to tour different Powhatan homes called Yahakans.
The interpreters in Paspaheghtown will demonstrate outdoor cooking, cultural activities, and even how dugout canoes are made.
So one of the cool things here at the Jamestown Settlement is the 1607 recreated ships, Susan Constant, Discovery, and Godspeed, which sadly is not here. Why, Shelby?
Well, they just told us that it is actually on its way sailing to Harborfest in Norfolk, Virginia, which is really cool if you're headed to Harborfest, but unfortunately we can't show it to you all because it's not here.
Let's take a tour of the Susan Constant. Interpreters noted that a total of 71 people were aboard the Susan Constant, 52 aboard Godspeed, and 21 aboard the Discovery. Susan Constant had a cook room for them to prepare meals on their 4-month journey.
Jamestown Settlement website states that the Susan Constant has a main deck, a tween deck, and a hold. Both the main deck and the tween deck, which is 6 feet from floor to ceiling, are accessible to visitors.
On this end of the deck are where the officers' quarters are located. They include a great cabin and 3 small cabins.
Officers back at. But everyone living on the deck below us, and there's only one deck underneath us on this ship, unlike Susan Constant.
So did it accompany that ship?
Yep. So Susan Constant, Discovery, and Godspeed, our ship that's out sailing right now, would have been sailing together as a fleet. Discovery's not going to carry very much stuff. It's going to be slower than the other ships. But when you get to a strange river you've never been up before, this is the ship you're going to send first. And they actually leave Discovery behind so it can continue to explore while the bigger ships go back to England.
Jamesfort is a recreated fort that depicts the Virginia Company of London's first permanent settlement.
Jamesfort allows visitors to see what life would have been like for the colonists. You can find interpreters working in various locations within the fort.
Definitely canteen, making a canteen. And if I poke, for leather you gotta poke holes. That's just how it works. What's wrong with poking holes in a cup or a canteen?
It's gonna make it leak.
Now make it leak. Let's test your idea. I'm almost out. Is it leaking anywhere?
Not there.
No leak, okay? We need to figure out why. Why is it not leaking? Go ahead and pick one up. Study one. How come it's not leaking? It is tar. Well done, pine tar. Okay, yeah. It's pine, so the outside's cow and the inside's pine tar. So I get to call these organic. Now I can charge twice as much for them.
That's very true. You can also tour the Anglican Church. According to the interpreter working inside the church, martial law was declared in 1610. Colonists were required to attend all church services, and if they failed to do so, then they could lose their food ration for the day.
Shelby and I toured some of the historical living spaces in the James Fort, and Shelby had a little too much fun in the oversized fireplace.
Diagon Alley.
taking the wooden interior portion of a sword scabbard, they started noticing something. They couldn't find any that were made that way. All the fragments and all the originals they were looking at had a wooden interior. And that seems to be borne out by all the bald finds and other bits like that in places like the Netherlands and Germany. And then the historical records from folks like the Cutler's companies and things like that, talking about the contracts to make them. So you had 2 slats of wood. They're either thin enough that they're flexed around and glued, or in this case, carved out, which is what I'm doing here, and glued together, and then thin leather applied around and stitched.
We also toured the blacksmith shop and then the armory, where they give matchlock musket demonstrations several times throughout the day.
Present your piece. Open your pan. Give fire. All right. So, welcome to the Matchlock Musket Demonstration. So, I'm going to load it and fire it again. Now, I'm using paper cartridges today. This is something that cavalrymen would use in England. There's no cavalry here, so we're just using these to kind of speed things up. So I'm going to put a little powder in the pan. Imagine I'm using my powder flask to my right over here. Shut the pan, blow off any excess powder, cast the weapon about. I'm going to pour the rest of the powder down the barrel. Imagine I'm using one of my chargers here. That's where that powder's coming from. Now next I'm going to pull out a musket ball. No, I'm not. It's a museum. I'm not going to shoot a real musket ball unless that squirrel shows up, because I'm tired of that guy. Next I'm going to pull my scouring stick and I'm going to seat the charge. Return scouring stick. Bring the weapon back up. Take my match. Blow it off. Attach match to serpentine. Try the match. Seems to be landing right about the right place. Then that last 3 commands are: present your piece, this being the piece, open your pan, thus exposing the charge, give fire. When you've heard of a firearm, that's where the term comes from. I'm literally adding fire. So when I say give fire, it's the best time to kind of cup your ears. Present your piece. Open your pan. Give fire. The matchlock musket. The end.
Now that we've explored all that the Living History Museum has to offer, it's time to check out the gift shop. The gift shop has a variety of gifts, including these bee-themed items to celebrate 400 years of honeybees in America. Now let's check out the rest of the gift shop while Shelby makes her souvenir purchase. Okay guys, we're finishing up our time here at Jamestown Settlement in Williamsburg, Virginia. Shelby, what'd you think?
Oh my goodness, we've had such an amazing time seeing all the recreations and reenactments. I think it was a great first stop on our tour of the historic triangle here in Williamsburg.
Yeah, we got to see the Powhatan Indian Village, the 1607 ships of Susan Constant, and the Discovery. Sadly, we didn't get to see Godspeed. It was out sailing. And we also got to see the Jamesfort. Just a lot of cool stuff here. Yep. We highly suggest you guys come and check it out.
Absolutely.
And until next adventure,
see ya.
See ya.